to amplify the voices of those who needed it most. Today, I'm proud to say that my journey has brought me to this stage, not only to share my story, but also to call upon each one of you to join me in this fight for a more just and compassionate society. Together, we can advocate for housing policies that provide support and opportunities for those experiencing homelessness and offer a helping hand to those who have had served their time and seeking a fresh start. Let us strive to create a community where each person is valued regarding of their past or circumstances. By lifting up those who have fallen, we will build a stronger, more inclusive Riverside County.
Woo!
Thank you. So our first speaker will explain to us why Riverside multi-housing program is so harmful. So our first speaker is Vonya. Vonya is a co-founder of Starting Over E that has operated for over a decade. She has helped over 1,000 women and children.
I'm live.
While working to address long-term solutions that include system change. Vonya is an attorney that practices law and criminal justice policy work. She is a founding member of the Riverside All of Us Are None chapter that works to end the discrimination faced by incarcerated and formerly incarcerated folks. She is system impacted herself and works to address the complexity.
Let's give it up for Storm. Storm joined Starting Over family about a year ago. She's doing amazing work. And the reason why we're here today isn't because of us, it's because of all of us. All of us? All of us? All of us? We're not here to beg for housing policy changes. We're here for policy changes. We're not asking for anything that we haven't given. We pay taxes, we live in this county, we live in this city, and we have a right to housing. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So when you have crime-free housing ordinances, or you mandate that any developers in this city apply crime-free housing policies to those developments, you're saying to me and thousands of other people in this city that we don't have a right to housing. And we see you, we hear you. But your actions don't match your words. You talk about this being a beautiful city, and then how much this city does, how equitable this city is. Look at your housing policies. We live in the state of California. African Americans are 6.5% of the population, yet 40% of the homeless population. It's not by accident. We didn't grow up and say we wanted to be homeless. We're shut out of housing. Strategically, intentionally, by housing policies like crime-free housing. Black, brown, poor white people are impacted by your crime-free housing policies, and we're telling you today, in no uncertain terms, that these policies will crumble like the walls of Jericho. And we're not going anywhere until your crime-free housing policies change.
Woo!
Don't drop the bullhorn.
Thank you so much for that. Definitely got us started, got us touched. The next speaker is going to be Terrance Stewart.
All right.
Woo!
Of Education from the University of UCR. Terrance is a founding member of Riverside All of Us Are None, and currently serves as the Time Done Training and Chapter Development Manager at the Alliance for Safety and Justice, ASJ. With a decade of experience, Terrance is a passionate advocate for policy changes that enable redemption of individuals with past convictions, fostering leadership and empowering communities through his work.
Awesome. T. Stu, what it do?
Woo!
Tank. You got two of them. You got enough voice for both of them. The other one. Use the other one, brother. Use the other one, brother. Get the black one back.
Can y'all hear me?
I can't hear you
well. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop.
Say what?
Because it's about people power. Come on. It's about people power. Because the power of the people is more powerful than the people with power.
Hey now.
And that's what this is about. They got me coming here, crime-free multi-housing projects. I was homeless around here. I was living in these hotels all off the university, going to the university. And like, the thing about the crime-free housing project, they don't care about how much you change your life. They don't care about how many awards you got, how many policies you done changed, how many lives you done saved. They'll say, excuse me, sorry, sir, because of this policy, you can't live here. And you can take a backpack full of awards. You can take your children. I have orange babies going to people housing with orange babies. And they see me, baby, we changing diapers, we're living a life with upward mobility. I got good credit, been a builder in the community, and it's sorry, sir, because of this crime-free multi-housing project, you can't live here. And I didn't even know what crime-free multi-housing project was. I didn't. I thought when I went in there, I changed my life. I was doing the right thing. And they say, no, sir, you can't live here because of crime-free multi-housing project. So I Google home crime-free multi-housing project. And I see that it's hosted in the police department.
Here we go. Thank you.
They put it in the police department.
Thank you.
And they talking about because of safety. I'm trying to put my family into safety. And safety is something that's denied to me. It's denied to my family. My wife ain't never committed a crime. My child ain't never committed a crime. But they said, you do the time, you do the crime. If you do the crime, you do the time. Well, I did my time. Time is done.
Woo!
But I said all that to say that we're coming today to change the way. You know, we are looking for upward mobility. We are way more than a human record. And what crime-free multi-housing project is doing is criminal. With that said, much love and respect, y'all.
Woo!
Use the black one. Use the black one from now on.
Thank you so much, Terrance. So our next speaker is going to be Dr. Jennifer Tilton.
All right.
Woo!
She's been a professor at the University of Redlands since 2007 as a mapping lead for the People's History of the IE, which includes storyscapes of race, place, and queer space in Southern California. Is a digital archive and mapping platform that documents, preserves, and spatially locates information about the experiences of working people in Riverside and San Bernardino County. Dr. Tilton?
All right.
Woo!
Great job, Storm. Great job, Storm.
So I'm here for two reasons. One is I'm here as the facilitator of the IPE Fair Chance Coalition.
Yeah.
Woo!
And we really are trying to take down those barriers that face folks when they come home from prison or jail, or just they're living their lives with criminal records. And there are far too many members, just like Terrance, who when they come home, keep applying for jobs and keep applying for housing, and they keep seeing either a box where they get a no because of what they were before and not who they are now. And I know as a researcher, right, like I'm studying this stuff too, that we are not safer as a community when we deny people housing and jobs, right? That is in fact public policy. It does not make us safe. We are folks and making them live on the streets, right? So that's part of the reason I'm here. But I'm also here because I studied local history here in the IE. And one thing about these primary housing codes, they don't say we're excluding people with criminal records.
Thank you.
We're trying to build safe communities, right? But when they put that label primary housing, and you're someone with a criminal record, like Terrance does, right? Where they say, oh, I can't live here. But you also kind of know, you're like, oh crap, I see that sign, I know I can't live here. And they know you're going to maybe face exclusion when you see that application and you see that box. And that's an awful lot like what the history looks like here in the IE with racial segregation. And that parallel is not an accident. Right back in the day, what I'm holding right here is a map of where black folks lived in 1970 here in Riverside County. There were some neighborhoods where black folks could live, and there were lots of neighborhoods where black folks could live. And it wasn't always explicit, right? It didn't always say with a big sign, black folks can't live here, right? Sometimes it was in these subtle ways. It would be in a deed where it said you can only sell this house to someone who was white. Sometimes it would be even more subtle, like there would be ads in the newspaper in the 40s here in Riverside that said this housing tract is restricted. And they wouldn't say restricted for what, right? But folks knew what they meant, right? All the black real estate agents said this is an unrestricted tract, right? To mark that everybody was welcome. But the other tracts in the white neighborhoods on this map would say this is restricted, right? And so black folks knew they couldn't apply. If they did apply, they would be turned away. And if you look at this map, there's some eerie parallels to where the crime-free housing is located now, right? A lot of the crime-free housing is in those historically redlined neighborhoods, in those neighborhoods that were kind of white, defined as white neighborhoods. And today, I think this crime-free housing continues to serve as that way of implicitly excluding folks, both by race and by kind of criminal record. And of course, we know the reason the city is going to lose a court case if they are stupid enough not to listen to y'all. Is that the Department of Justice has said that if you have explicit exclusions of folks with all criminal records or with arrest records, right, you are implicitly discriminating against black folks more. And you can't do that because it's illegal. Yes. And so I think, you are standing on the, shoulders of lots of folks who came before you who fought this same fight in Riverside.
Amen.
And I think it's a fight that they won eventually and you will win too.
Awesome, awesome.
Woo!
Coming back, I just want to say as you're coming back that to break it down, so they don't say black folks can't rent here anymore, black folks can't buy here anymore, they say crime free. Because they know that disproportionately black and brown people have been discriminated against through the justice system, so they piggyback onto that discrimination so that they can keep the map that Jennifer has identified looking white. So this city has decided to protect whiteness at the expense of everyone else. Not in specifics, but in general, that's what's happening. They're saying, we're going to protect whiteness and all the rest of y'all can go to hell. We'll take your tax dollars, right? We'll take your vote. But once we get our asses in office, all bets off. We're protecting whiteness. And as long as this city decides to protect whiteness, we will be here with lawsuits, with rallies, with people knocking on their door, or people not turning out to vote for their ass in the next election. That's how we move.
Woo!
Thank you for that big rally.
Big rally.
Hype.
Hype.
I appreciate it. I also wanted to say we have poster making, and if folks want to write on index cards, I know it's not on the agenda until the 15th, but if folks may not be able to be here and they want us to share whatever they write, they're right over there with Denise. Denise, you want to raise your hand real quick? That's Denise right there.
Woo!
Okay, so our next speaker, we have the honor to have one of the first clients in the nation who stood up against the crime-free discriminatory housing policy. She is the first to file and win a lawsuit, BBFRC versus the city of Hesperia, that ended discriminatory housing ordinances that targeted people of color. She ended these ordinances in the cities of Victorville, Apple Valley, Adelanto, and Hemet. Pastor Green's law
Woo!
influenced the United States Department of Justice landmark agreement with the City of Hesperia Police Department and San Bernardino County Sheriff Department to end the discriminatory rental housing program. Thank you, Pastor Green, for coming to share your experience of being a crime.
Woo!
I think I need to hear some more noise.
Woo!
The person that came before me, Terrance, talks about.
Hold the button, sister. Hold the button.
I'm sorry. Terrance spoke on the issue that he had passed in the incarceration. For me, I just happen to be a black woman doing housing to keep people off the street that were trying to change their
Amen,
lives.
amen.
And I moved into the wrong area. Crime-free ordinance came after me. City Hall came after me because I was in the wrong area. Not because I had a criminal background. Not because I had broken the law and got away with it. Not because I had just turned around and overturned some things and disturbed the neighborhood, made a lot of noise. No, I moved into an area that had no black people in it. And so when I got there, their neighborhood watch program initially started targeting my home. And then when they started targeting my home, we started going to City Hall. And after City Hall had funded me, provided funding for housing for more than 5 years, they turned around and began citing each one of my houses that I would not close because they said, you don't belong here. And so as I moved on and I began to stand up against them, then I had them tell me, we have more money than you do. You're a nonprofit. So you cannot fight City Hall. I am here to tell you, we fought it, and we made sure that the laws were taken off the books in this area. We won to the degree that Victorville had to follow, to the degree that Adelanto had to follow in Apple Valley. But we are here now in Riverside.
Riverside.
We won't take it.
Hey now.
Not here, not anywhere else anymore. As I looked at them calling it a crime-free ordinance, I realized that it makes people feel like they're safe. That we're creating a safe haven. And so crime-free ordinance means that we're going to deal with the landlords that are slum landlords. And I am here to tell you that as I looked up statistics on the success of that program, the crime-free ordinance program, I realized there were no statistics to be found. Nothing to talk about the success. But you know what I did find? Witnesses that were discriminated against, that were non-white. People that had been targeted at their homes, and people on the street because I deal with the homeless population.
Amen, amen.
And I found so many of them that got kicked out of house because of crime-free. So I'm going to tell you this morning, crime-free does not make anything crime-free.
Hey now.
Crime-free is another whistle blown to say we'll get you out of our community because you don't belong here. And so, as we are pushing for City Hall to recognize that everybody deserves to be housed, because that's the only way we can keep our community safe. As we are telling them, no, you got the wrong concept and expanding policies, we need to let them know, no, not here.
Hey now.
My tax dollars here, no, not here. My voting voice is here, no, not in this community.
Hey now.
So as you all push that, that they remove those orders.
All right.
Woo!
Thank you, Pastor Green.
All right, all right.
Woo!
Can I say no justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
No justice?
No peace.
All right, so our last speaker is a community advocate for over 25 plus years, a participatory defense organizer, criminal housing justice advocate with a number of other hats, such as a current member of the NAMI, a peer support specialist.
Nami.
Oh, no, sorry about that. Thank you. Peer support specialist, a mental health first aider, peer-to-peer mentor facilitator, family support facilitator, connections recovery support group facilitator, and in your own voice presenter, a mental health advocate with personal and family lived experience with mental health. There is hope, success, and visions that are accessible and achievable for those who are faced with these dynamics. She is also an employed specialist, a local Solace Policy Institute fellow, currently working to eliminate the crime-free multi-housing ordinance.
Awesome.
And housing, planning, and zoning within all sectors of the city of Riverside.
Awesome.
Of the policy through housing, preventing and causing community members to become homeless and even criminal conviction by passing a fair chance housing ordinance. It will put an end to all the discriminatory practices, unforeseen disparities, and trauma that are affecting our community at an alerting rate, as well as in September.
Awesome.
Woo!
Great job, Storm.
Woo! Toya.
Thank you, Storm. I'm honored to be here today. I want to thank God, first of all. It's the reason why I'm standing here, right here. Riverside City Council, I'm here. I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to tell my story. I'm going to continue to get people. I am here. We are here. We're not going anywhere. My fight is for them to remove the crime-free multi-housing program, the zero tolerance, the nuisance, and all of that from your systems, from zoning, from planning, from everything. I'm here. Hi. I see you in the window. So, back in, let me tell you a little bit about my story. Back in 2016, I was woke up in the morning by a banging on my door. And I thought it was the delivery person bringing my meds. But to my surprise, when I got to the door, it flew open and I was slammed to the ground. They put their boots in my back. They ran through the house. They started screaming that they were law enforcement. They put all my kids out, put them in cuffs, had them on the floor, and they had AKs pointed at us the whole entire time while we were in cuffs. The only person that wasn't in cuffs was my 2-week-old grandchild. I'm constantly asking them, why are you here? Why are they here? No one said anything to me. Later, they ended up taking me and 2 of my sons to jail. I don't know why. They never told me why. I never saw search warrant or nothing like that. I never saw anything. 2 days later, my oldest son bailed us out. When I got home, I found out that they was there because of Section 8. I was a Section 8 recipient, been in the recipient for many of years. Never known there was this thing going on, right? So I went to them, I said, what's happening? Why y'all guys are doing this to me? They said, well, Ms. Vick, we didn't do this to you. Law enforcement target you. They asked us for your file. We just gave it to them. And I'm like, you just gave it to them? They don't know that my family was had accommodations because we were disabled, right? So I'm facing life in prison for something I did not do before I even had a hearing. I was already terminated from the program. They tore my house apart. Even still to this day, 7 years later, my home is still damaged. I am still traumatized. They separated my family. They came after me because they said, oh, you didn't report when your son went to juvenile hall. Yes, I did. Oh, they came after you because of they trying to make up all kinds of things. I didn't have no employee, no money. I began to sell everything in my own. And I said, God, help me. This is a battle that I cannot fight out. They had me signed, sealed, and delivered to prison for life. organized. They told me, oh, Miss Vick, your story is just a fluke. Oh, it just happened to you. It's not happening anymore. But through the participatory defense work that I do, I found that it was still happening.
Every day.
Every day. I sat in plenty plannings, the 5-year planning, the point in time count, the CLC meetings. I was everywhere trying to advocate to get rid of this program and how they talk about they helping the homeless. You're not helping the homeless. You're making us homeless. It's every day.
Woo!
I have to pay $1,900. So every month I'm traumatized because I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't know how I'm going to have somewhere to sleep tonight. My family didn't deserve that. These families and community members don't deserve that. It is your responsibility. Hear the voices that's out here today. We will stand and stand tall. Justice for all.
Woo! Woo!
ACLU is bringing burritos for everybody.
Yeah, give it up for Desiree.
So after this, whoever wants a burrito, they're here. Thanks to the ACLU, thanks to all the partners. But Storm is going to do all that for us. So I just want to say, the one thing that I forgot to mention was that even though crime-free housing affects us at an individual level with trying to house our families, the city of Riverside has gone above and beyond that to attack organizations like ours who are providing housing to people like us and saying that we cannot do that, that we need a ordinance, or I'm sorry, that we need a conditional use permit. We give them $9,000 and then they decide if they want to give us a permit or not after having a public hearing. And so this city responds to homeowners associations.
Money.
This city does not hear us. This city does not see us unless they figure out a way to commodify us and be paid for us. And that's why we're here today. Starting Over has requested information from the city of Riverside via our attorneys. The city has decided not to respond, and we ain't going nowhere. We standing right behind Toya.
Hey now.
We
Woo! Woo!
Hey now.
Woo!
right behind Pastor Green.
Woo!
Right behind Annabelle and Kat.
Woo!
We're standing with Coke and other partners.
Woo!
The city is going to have to adapt to a new demographic, and that new demographic is you.
Woo!
All right.
Woo!
Give it up for Storm.
Woo!
I got one more chant for us. When I say who shut shit down, y'all say we shut shit down. Who shut shit down?
We shut shit down.
Who shut shit down?
We shut shit down.
Who shut shit down?
We shut shit down. Woo!
We shut you down.
Woo!
We got food over here. We got a table here. Talking about some of the stuff that Starting Over offers different communities to Starting Over. And then we also still have our poster making